What did I think of Umbrella Academy Season 4? Hey guys, it's the Kamookster, and I think it's safe to say that most people did not like that season. Umbrella Academy Season 4 came out a couple weeks ago, and it was 6 episodes, definitely shorter compared to the series' usual 10. And with this short order of episodes, it's very clear that they rushed to the finish line. And they didn't even make it there. Episodes that could have been used to resolve old plot lines were used for filler, meaningless fights, whatever the hell this was.
You need to leave!
And it's safe to say that the fandom was left with more questions than answers. So what we're going to do today is give somewhat of a review of this season and try our best to answer some of the questions that the show has left behind for us. So question number 1, why did Luther get his monkey body back if it was never a part of his marigold powers? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that true peace isn't the absence of oppression, but the presence of justice. Gandhi once said, get that head, get that bread, and leave. And William Ockham once said that the simplest explanation is typically the correct one. And the simplest explanation for this is that the writers just freaking forgot. They were so focused on giving everyone their powers back and returning to the status quo that they forgot that Luther's power was never having a monkey body. That was an entirely separate thing. They had to inject Pogo's DNA into Luther to help him survive this really bad, fight thingy. I don't know. I mean, I barely remember it myself. It happened way back in, Season 1. But I do know that Luther was not born like that, so, yeah. Question number 2. Why was Jennifer in that huge squid? This question was never answered. It was literally never answered. I don't know if they had to cut it for time or if Netflix didn't want to give them the 12 episode, 10 episode order, but we just never found out why. And you could tell that they wanted to evoke some type of connection between her and the squid, because when when Jean and Jean showed that they murdered her squid buddy, she showed genuine emotion and care for the poor thing. So yeah, I don't know what connection they had, but we never get it. The writers forgot. Again. Now I see a lot of people are asking what happened to Ray, and honestly, it's not that big of a mystery. Klaus said that Ray walked out, so we have to assume that Ray walked out. Maybe he didn't like Klaus wandering around the house with him and his daughter, or maybe Allison got on his nerves. But whatever the reason, Ray left. It shouldn't be. It's not a huge deal, you know. So yeah, I'm surprised that they brought him all the way back from the 90s just for him to disappear this season. So you know. There was a big gap between the 2 seasons. Maybe it was a thing with the actor. You can't be too hard on them for that. Why did Ghost Ben never tell Klaus what happened, how he died? This is actually a really good question, but it does have like something of a simple answer. Like you have to suspend your disbelief for this. When Reginald shot Ben, Ben was turned around facing his siblings. And then Reginald proceeded to wipe all of his siblings' minds, and Ben was dead, obviously. So it's possible that Ben never knew who his killer was. Fun fact, Reginald has killed Luther, Klaus, and Ben, stabbed Diego, but still will not kill Jennifer for some reason. The better question is that if this is true, why did Ben never ask the other siblings how he died? That's the better question. Because then there's no way to like manipulate things, be like, oh, he didn't see, there's no excuse. Like, wouldn't he be the least bit curious of why he's dead? Like, he'd have to be. Right, another question, where did the subway come from? Like, is this subway a place, or is it supposed to be like a metaphor, or what? Like, did someone build it? Good question. I think the closest answer we get is some type of variant of 5. The one that like created the commission probably built it to like prune timelines. You know, like how they do in Loki, like close off timelines, try and figure out a way to get back to the original timeline. Because in the Umbrella Academy universe, there's only supposed to be one timeline. And spoiler warning, that's how it ends, just with one timeline. And the cast turns into flowers, so there's that. Another thing about the whole subway arc is that like it added nothing. Like, okay, 5 and Lila's relationship, like absolute dog shit, okay? But like, even the going on the trip across the multiverse, like, they actually did not learn anything useful from that, except that like, they're gonna have to keep saving the world over and over for eternity, which is something they basically already knew. So, what was the point of even adding it? Like, they want to do, the Umbrella Academy wants to do the whole multiverse thing with Spider-Man and all these Marvel movies. Like, it's getting old. There's no reason for that. And you know they tried to be different because they use the trains. Like, okay guys, okay. Another question people keep asking is like, why didn't Victor just absorb everyone else's marigold to like stop this? Which actually does make sense, because I assume that like, you know what happened to Harlan, if you give your marigold like voluntarily, it's a lot easier to absorb than if you have to like take it, like where she was trying to take it from Ben and Jennifer. So I think that might have worked out, but I think the whole point of them all sacrificing themselves and wiping themselves from the timeline is that they knew that the world would end again, because that's just how the Umbrella Academy universe works, is that the world will always end as long as Marigold exists. I think that's not such a big a deal. Like, the Avengers like stop a world-ending thing in like every week, so why can't the Umbrella Academy do the same? Like, their track record has been pretty decent. I mean, they stopped like 3 apocalypses. I think that's solid numbers right there. So I don't know why they couldn't have just like kept going. I mean, I know it might have gotten like old or like completely miserable, you know, saving the world every month, but yeah, you're supposed to be superheroes, guys. Like, you have to just believe yourselves and hope for the best. This isn't The Good Place.
Speaking of The Good Place, that's one of those shows that have like no bad seasons, unlike this one.
One question that I can answer pretty well is, what happened to the Sparrow Academy when the universe reset? Like, what happened to all the Umbrella Academy's other siblings that also got a dose of the Marigold and should have powers? Well, with Allison clicking the button, the universe reset, basically, and it actually removed Durango from all human beings. Like, it was in the vial, sure, but like, it was no longer in any of the umbrellas. This means that all of their siblings, all the like 43 or whatever, however it was, babies, no Durango at all, no Durango. They still exist, right? And they do not exist via Durango. Think about it like this, like, sure, all the siblings were born due to the Marigold, right? Without the Marigold, they wouldn't exist. But think of it this way, like, the timeline does not start with the birth of the umbrellas, not the new one at least. The new timeline starts immediately after season 3. That's a new start, meaning that all the characters are in their grown-up forms. They have no powers, because with the start of the new timeline, all Marigold was removed. That's not to say that it was removed from all of history. It's to say that it was removed going forward, meaning that we have our characters, they had powers. The new timeline starts, they no longer have powers. This is the beginning of time now. This is 0. Going off of this, theoretically, the other siblings should still be out there, but they are wherever Reginald was trying to get them from. How do the kids survive? Okay, this is a decent question, because like, if Diego and Lila were completely erased from the timeline, how come their kids exist? Why does Allison's daughter exist? You know, like, they were never there in the first place. Like, wouldn't this be like a grandfather paradox type thing? The answer is, it's the same reason why Ray is in the current timeline. It just, things got shifted around. Reality warping nonsense, okay? There's no real answer. I guess they just wanted a somewhat happy ending. So, yeah, everyone's happy except for the core 7 Umbrella Academy members. I look at this new season and I'm just like, woof. Woof.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
it is just so rough. I mean, I don't even think the ending is that bad for the show. Like, I think they were kind of hinting at this, like with season 2, like, oh, the apocalypse followed us, the apocalypse will keep following us no matter what. It does make sense that they all get erased, but I just don't like the fact that, like, they died the way they did, where 5 hates Diego, Klaus didn't want to die, everyone, it just feels unsatisfying. It feels like the end of The Sopranos, just like a cut to black, honestly. It's so unresolved. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was more confusing than all of season 4, but I really did my best, okay? I tried. It's hard to explain. I hope this cleared up some of your questions, even though I didn't have the ability to answer all of them, because not all of them really have answers. A lot of the answers is literally just the writers were bad at their jobs. So, I mean, I hope we get a season 5, but like, the way things are looking, we're not. Like, there's no debate, there's no hope, we're just not going to get a season 5. The Umbrella Academy died and they got turned into flowers, and that's the end of the show. So, hope you liked it.
When men tell you to consult mediums and spiritists who whisper and mutter, should not a people inquire of their own God? Why consult the dead on behalf of the living? Isaiah chapter 8 verse 19. Okay, low-key wanted to say more, but like I didn't want to, put on the whole wizard outfit and all that stuff and edit more video content stuff. So I just want to say that like a downer ending is okay to have, all right? Look at like Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, or Infinity War. Those things had bad endings. Well, not bad endings. They had like endings that were bad for the characters in them, right? But they weren't bad endings. This was a bad ending because it had bad execution. And execution is all that really matters at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this show right now. But, yep, this is all we're going to get. So, maybe I'll read the comics or something. If you're reading this, comment Christ is King, and I will shout you out in the next video. Just because, like, you made it super far. Like, this is way past, like, anyone watching this should be going. So,